Hi Scorpio, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your August 2026 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a 12 card spread with each card representing a different house of the zodiac. Starting with your sign, Scorpio is the first house, all the way through to Libra representing the 12th house. After we get through that spread, we'll actually pull an oracle card as well for some additional insight. As far as the decks being used this month, for the main tarot deck, we have the Hermetic Tarot. For the Oracle deck, we have the Wisdom of the Oracle. And we're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright, so we have Virgo. So for you guys, Virgo is your 11th house of friendships, groups, hopes, and wishes. And there's going to be plenty of energy going through there in different parts of August. So the sun will arrive there on the 22nd of August. We'll have, currently Venus is already in there actually, and then Mercury will get there on the 25th of August. So plenty of energy going through there. Makes sense to see that come up. All right, we have the North Node. So the North Node just moved into Aquarius a couple days ago, and for you guys, Aquarius is actually your 4th house of home roots family. And we have 1. So in this context, first house we view as your house, right, with the layout of the spread and everything. So yeah, it could just be saying that you might have a little bit more focus on yourselves this month. So we'll keep all that in mind as we go through the main spread. All right, so as far as your tarot card representing the first house, we have the 3 of Wands. So yeah, so this could just be saying that for some of you, you're waiting to reap the rewards of work that you've already put in, right? Now, it seems like there's a confidence that that actually will be coming your way as well. So I don't know if you've already received word that something was coming your way, right? Like, let's say, if you get this completed by this deadline, then we'll give you X, Y, Z at this point. So maybe it's something that you're already aware of, or at the very least, it just seems like you have faith that it will be coming your way this month. So for your second house energy, which generally points to possession, self-worth, and finances, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So to me, this looks like an indicator that you will be seeing some growth and forward movement when it comes to this area of life. Might not be as rapid as you'd like it to be, but at the very least, it seems like it's going to be consistent, stable, and reliable progress too. So that's certainly a positive, at least as far as that goes. And then if this is pointing more to a timeline, this could just be saying maybe you'll see this pick up more as we move toward Virgo season later in August. All right, and for your third house of communications, short journeys, and siblings, we have the 7 of Wands. So in this deck, it's referred to as the Lord of Valor. But yeah, 7 of Wands energy typically does point to overcoming some challenges. So to see this in your communication house, to me, says that, let's say, hypothetically, people might challenge you on your beliefs, right? Or maybe an approach you have to something. And if that's the case, to me, this says that you could successfully defend yourself in that regard. So definitely looks like a positive thing there. All right, so for your 4th house of home roots family, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So this is Capricorn energies here. So to me, what this says is that you're going to feel pretty comfortable in your home environment, right? You're going to feel like where you are now is where you want to continue to build. Also, you just might feel a little bit more at peace and withdrawn here, but in a positive sense, right? So maybe if there is a lot of movement, a lot of noise in other areas of your life, you might feel like withdrawing to your home environment is a good place for you to recharge and just have your peace and comfort. All right, so for your 5th house of romance, creativity, and children, we have the 6 of Wands. So more Leo energy here. And if we look at the artwork as well, we see the Jupiter symbol. So that is currently where Jupiter is. And for you guys, Leo energy is actually your 10th house of career and social status too. So even though this is coming up in the creativity house for you, could just be saying that maybe some ideas that you share with people, right? They might be received well, and they might be brought on and incorporated in your workplace. So that looks like a positive there. Or in any event, I just feel like this is saying that whatever information you do share, even if it's completely outside of your work realm, looks like it will be received well by those around you. All right, and for your 6th house of health, work, and daily routines, we have the Emperor. So this is the major arcana card for Aries, which is your actual natural sixth house. So this is definitely a good sign to see that alignment there. And yeah, could just be saying that maybe you're taking on a little bit more of a leadership role within your workplace, or maybe even just being more proactive about your routines in general, right? Or maybe with your health. But either way, this is definitely good energy to see for any of those areas of life. All right, so for your seventh house of partnerships, contracts, or relationships, we have the moon. So yeah, this looks like something that could be a bit of a weak spot for you, just as far as you might feel like you're not seeing the situation clearly when it comes to someone else, right? So whether it is a romantic partnership or a contract you're looking to sign, right? I feel like this is saying that you feel like you could like a little bit of clarity there when it comes to that. That's the case. Keep in mind there are some significant lunar cycles that we still have to go through. The time recording this, we're just about to have that Aquarius full moon. Then after that, we have the new moon eclipse in Leo, which is your 10th house of career and social status, right in the middle of the month. And then toward the end of the month, we'll have a full moon eclipse in Pisces. So definitely some significant lunar cycles as far as that goes. And especially if we consider we do see the Pisces symbol here too, maybe that would be the more significant one for you guys. But in any event, I feel like this is saying that if nothing else, if you do feel like you're a little bit on shaky ground with information, pay attention to those 3 periods in particular to maybe get more insight so you can feel a little bit more confident making decisions. All right. And for the eighth house, which points to death, rebirth, intimacy, and investments, we have the Three of Pentacles. So to me, the Three of Pentacles energy usually points to something that's long standing, stable, and something that you actually genuinely enjoy as well. So to me, it's a combination of the Saturn and Venus energies, but in a positive sense, right? So Saturn lends that stability, the longevity, and then the Venusian energy comes along to provide the beautification and enjoyment aspect of it. So yeah, to me, this kind of ties in. I mean, if we look at the name of the card for this deck too, if we can get it to focus, there you go. It says Lord of Material Work. So I can see this tying into what I was saying for you guys with the first house, right? Where, like I said, it looks like you are waiting to see the results of the work that you've already put in, and this could be one of those things pointing to that. For your ninth house energy, which points primarily to higher learning, foreign affairs, philosophy, we have the sun. So interesting to see this because I do think about how your ninth house naturally is Cancer, and we recently just came out of Cancer season. So for some of you, it could just be saying that maybe that spark is still continuing on with you guys. But if not that, it could just be saying that you're feeling a lot more confident in your beliefs, right? So for example, usually Scorpios are pretty solid in believing what they believe anyway, but even if there's been some things thrown your way that might have put some of those beliefs into doubt, I feel like this is saying you're going to be feeling a lot more confident that you were on the right path, or even if you weren't at one point, that where you are now is where you need to be. But yeah, definitely looks like you could just feel more reinvigorated in general. So for your 10th house of career and social status, we have the Magician. So yeah, so this is tying into some of the things I was already talking about, like the Emperor in the 6th house, Six of Wands in the 5th, right? Like this is saying that when it comes to your career and social status, you could be received well this month when it comes to presenting ideas, or even if you're just someone who's rolling solo and just works for yourself, right? I feel like you could just be inspirational to others around you in that regard when they see the results of your work. Uh, but yeah, to me, this definitely seems to be pointing to, like we said, you guys are going to have Jupiter in your 10th house of career and social status for close to a year. So definitely bring some good luck there. All right, so for your 11th house of hopes and wishes, friendships, groups, we have the Ace of Swords. So yeah, so this could just be saying that as you interact with the groups around you, right, whether they be friends or maybe within your work environment, the groups that you interact with there, I feel like this is saying you're going to have some kind of an epiphany in the process of those interactions. Now, I mean, given that Virgo energy is your 11th house, Could just be saying that maybe as all those energies start to move through Virgo, that might be when it hits for you. But I don't necessarily know if there's a singular event that's going to point to it, but just more of maybe the general theme of the month. And for your 12th house energy, which points to mental health, spirituality, blind spots, we have the Four of Swords. So this is actually Libra energy, which is your natural 12th house. So it's good to see that alignment here too. And in this deck, it's referred to as the Lord of Rest from Strife. So yeah, so these are all good indicators in general with the spread that if you have gone through challenging times recently, right, it looks like you're going to be well on the path to getting back on your feet here and having some time to withdraw, right? So it looks like a busy month on the one hand, but one where you're controlling the level of busyness, right? Sometimes you have months that are just crazy busy out of your control where you're like, okay, wasn't expecting to have to do this, this, and this. This one seems like it's more of you setting these things into motion. So, of course, those are the more manageable types of busy because if you do need to step away and take a break, you could do so. All right, and bottom of the deck, we have the Three of Cups, which in this deck is referred to as the Lord of Abundance. So, definitely another strong indicator that things could be going well for you guys this month. Then this could also be one of those things, too, where you might be connecting with those close to you to celebrate some of these wins. But we'll see what the Oracle card adds to the mix. So, what I'm going to do is I'll just give this a few shuffles, then we'll cut the deck and pull a card. Take this card, get this out of the way, and let's see what you got. All right, we have community. There's the artwork. The number is 8, and we'll see what it has to say. All right, essential meanings says belonging, being seen and understood by others, like-minded connections, a sense of family and friendship, knowing your place in the world. The Oracle's message. This card signals a new affiliation with a group. Humans are social creatures, and we need to know we are useful to our families and communities. In a community, everyone has an important function and feels I matter. Membership in the group provides a sense of belonging, of kinship, and of purpose that comes with working together for the greater fulfillment of all. Perhaps you are part of a spiritual community or an artistic one. Perhaps you are perhaps you are in a learning community where you share your love of education. Regardless of its form or focus, your community brings you joy. You will be inspired by it and want to contribute to it. Your contribution may be as small as showing up or as large as becoming its leader. No matter your position in the group, your presence is needed. So yeah, reading that part made me think of seeing the Emperor in the 6th house that we talked about, the Magician in the 10th, right, or even the Ace of Swords in the 11th. So it seems to align pretty well with the general spread. The relationship message says you're discovering the essential qualities that you share with another, and perhaps also those you don't share. There are times when you follow and the other person leads, and times when you lead and the other follows. The appearance of this card points to the importance of learning the proper dance between you and another. Accepting the truth that everyone has flaws is part of that dance. Yet you are also being asked to be aware of the dynamics that you don't want to repeat. You're in the perfect place to make changes in order to experience the best version of who you can be together. So that's interesting there, right? Because maybe that's what that moon is pointing to in the 7th house, where you're still trying to figure each other out to an extent. And then talking about the part of being aware of the things you don't want to repeat, right? And accepting that others have flaws. That could be what Chiron could be asking you to look at, which is now in your 7th house of partnerships, contracts, and on the 3rd, it'll actually be retrograde. So that could be what that's pointing to there, at least to an extent. And the prosperity message says, whenever you're in a community of like-minded others, there is a powerful opportunity to reap great abundance. It's essential to ask, what can I contribute, rather than what can I get from this? Figure out a need and look to fill it. Something meaningful will manifest. Even if what manifests is small, it's a sign that the doors of opportunity will swing open wider. There is also another meaning to this card to consider. Don't try to be all things to all people. Choose your role and be true to it, and serve from a sense of authenticity. There is no greater feeling of accomplishment than knowing you have purpose. So yeah, so authenticity tends to be something that Scorpios are also quite good at as well. So overall, I would say the messages there did align with the general spread, and it looks like it will be a pretty solid month. So hopefully that resonated with you guys, and we'll wrap up there. All right, bye.